Since you have Nvidia as a name you like, let's talk about it. I mean, they have a $350 price target. Do you see a lot of upside potential for an Nvidia, and if so, why?
I do. I mean, Nvidia still is the absolute choke point in AI, and they're absolutely essential to this growth, which is still quite phenomenal. And when you think about it, in most all these tech companies, what I'm liking is that the E is growing faster than the P. If you look at PE ratios, earnings are growing faster than prices are. Nvidia's like, what, 22? Take a look at a company that's growing as fast as they are, with the earnings growing as fast as they are, and having a forward PE of 22. So I think I would agree with Bank of America on this.
Yeah, and Bank of America actually said that this call here is because of the $105 billion investment commitment with OpenAI. That's one of the reasons, along with many others, just the shift in the commitment that NVIDIA is showing. The benefits of AI, we're waiting for the monetization, but this just shows the trend overall. Is that right?
I think so, but when we talk about AI, you've got to remember, 56% of the companies in America now have an AI account, and they're paying for this stuff. And of those, 71% of them are showing increases in labor productivity. So when you think about, and then like maybe only 7% of them say that they fully integrated. So you see this huge opportunity for AI integration, and we're still just building out this infrastructure, and NVIDIA and many of these companies are absolutely essential to that. So I think you've got a very strong continued push in what's going on, because in the end, if AI is increasing labor productivity, people are going to buy it. I mean, if it didn't increase labor productivity, it'd be just an interesting, parlor game or interesting.
Do you feel
game.
like they're being so? I mean, this is not a Bank of America segment, but the price target, we could discuss that. Where you really 50% upside, really. When they call 350, it's a 219 or so. It certainly shows an aggressive move. I mean, they're not saying 250. Do you really think that some of these tech names can move 20, 30, 40, 50%? You have a slew of names that we're going to be discussing in here. I mean, you have Nvidia and Microsoft, right. Two of the sort of the big names that people know and like. Are those the kinds of names that can move 20, 30, 40, 50%?
When earnings are moving 20, 30, 40, and 50%, which is happening, then the price of the stock is record earnings are going to be record stock price.
The price of Nvidia's stock is currently close to $218, up around 19% in 2026, and nearly 15% from its low in late June. Although that is by no means weak, statistics indicates that it is significantly slower than previous year, when shares increased by almost 39%. To put it mildly, the Nvidia narrative is amazing. Seasoned analysts like Jim Cramer have described its extraordinary impact as, a lot of the reluctance we've been seeing lately is more related to vendor finance than to the desire for AI. In other words, investors are concerned that Nvidia is essentially financing AI clients who purchase its chips, putting the business at risk of credit losses and making demand appear much more circular than organic. According to the WSJ, that discussion erupted in late July after it was revealed that Nvidia might invest around $250 billion in an OpenAI data center project in Ohio. Financing for up to $350 billion in semiconductor acquisitions was also considered. Then, according to an Nvidia press release, on August 10th, the company unveiled a Wall Street-backed platform that aims to raise over $500 billion in third-party AI infrastructure funding. According to Reuters, it added another twist to that on Monday, August 17th, when it agreed to guarantee $105 billion associated with OpenAI's Ohio campus. However, senior analyst Vivek Arya of Bank of America told me in a note that despite growing off-balance sheet exposure, the market is pricing that risk too aggressively and is still bullish. According to Bank of America, the market is likely discounting a much worse outcome than the funding commitments warrant. Reiterating his buy rating and 350 price objective, analyst Vivek Arya suggested a nearly 55.5% increase from the $225 launch price used at the time of posting. Nvidia, becoming more than just a chip provider, is the foundation of the bank's bull thesis. Arya and his group contend that the business is still obtaining almost all of the limited resources needed to build out the AI system. This covers everything from electricity and data center shells to chips and land, among other things. That approach is appealing because of Nvidia's strong GPU leasing rates and enormous revenue generating. But it does lead to an issue with value. It becomes extremely difficult for investors to evaluate every dollar of free cash flow equally if Nvidia keeps funding its own ecosystem. BOFA divides its cash generation into two as a result. The remaining portion is thought to support financing and investments in the ecosystem, with about 50% being recognized as stockholder cash and repaid through dividends and share buybacks. BOFA analysts contend that the stock is still inexpensive, even if it significantly reduces the amount of money Nvidia could need to assist its AI partners. To further grasp the concept, let's examine a straightforward example. Assume that Nvidia produces about $100 in free cash flow. Of that, $50 is distributed to shareholders through dividends and buybacks, which BOFA typically values at a 48x peer multiple. $50 was used for AI backstops and investments because they are far riskier, and BOFA is only valuing them at 24 times. It results in a valuation of 36 times 2027 free cash flow, even if investors give that risky fraction 50% less valuation credit. The market is pricing in far too much risk, as evidenced by Nvidia's current price of almost 18x. Despite Nvidia's massive $300 billion commitment to AI backstops and investments, the bank anticipates roughly $470 billion in free cash flow between 2026 and 2027, indicating a significant amount of financial strength. The economics of Nvidia's enormous $105 billion OpenAI guarantee may be the most startling aspect. BOFA emphasizes that Nvidia isn't guaranteeing the full loan to the ChatGPT producers, despite the fact that it appears enormous on paper. In actuality, it is reducing its losses in the event that the project encounters difficulties by backstopping the residual value associated with leases at SB Energy's Ohio data center. Furthermore, that guarantee has enormous potential sales potential. The first 4.25 gigawatts that Nvidia is supporting will include about 1.5 million GPUs, according to BOFA, and each hardware generation will bring in between $150 billion and $200 billion for Nvidia. That amounts to $75 billion to $100 billion in free cash flow, FCF, at a 50% free cash flow margin, which is close to the $105 billion guarantee. This partnership could result in $600 billion in Nvidia revenues, $300 billion in free cash flow through 2030, and 12 to 16 gigawatts of compute against a $105 billion backup, according to BOFA. Another significant safeguard is that Nvidia's GPUs are easily transportable and reusable, thanks to CUDA, which makes the chips beneficial to a variety of users. What investors in Nvidia should look out for prior to earnings, BOFA's analysis changes what investors in Nvidia stock should keep an eye on, but it doesn't disprove the bull argument. According to the bank, investors are significantly undervaluing the possibility that Nvidia's growing obligations to its AI clients would result in balance sheet issues. Because of this, Nvidia's fiscal Q2 2027 earnings announcement on August 26th is quite significant. Data indicates that Wall Street anticipates revenue of $91.96 billion, a normalized EPS of $2.08, and a GAAP EPS of $2.06. Compared to fiscal Q2 2026, when Nvidia reported normalized EPS of $1.05 on revenues of $46.74 billion, or 55.6% year-over-year sales increase, that represents a significant improvement. With 32 positive EPS revisions over the last 90 days as opposed to just 3 cuts prior to the release, expectations have also been climbing. With sales of over $94 billion to $95 billion, Bank of America is predicted to surpass Q2 projections by $3 billion to $4 billion, driving Q3 sales toward $107 billion to $108 billion, above sell-side projections. Nevertheless, investors must pay special attention to disclosures regarding off-balance sheet exposure, residual value commitments, and guarantees. In addition to gross margin resilience, AI model economics, and demand for Vera Rubin, ARIA anticipates that management will give much more information on these commitments. The bullish evidence is still very strong, though. Strong underlying AI demand is demonstrated, according to BOFA, by Nvidia's enormous free cash flow creation, limited computing availability, and powerful GPU rental prices. It's interesting to note that the bank sees margins remaining between 73% and 74% despite memory cost increases, considering finance and memory issues to be exaggerated. For comparison, data shows that Nvidia's levered free cash flow increased by a staggering 1,182% over the course of 3 years, from $4.5 billion in fiscal 2023 to $58.1 billion in fiscal 2026. This discourages current investors from selling, mostly because financing reports appear concerning. Earnings provide a better test for new purchasers than just pursuing BOFA's upside case. The warning indicator is clear. Nvidia's expansion and its stronghold-like bank sheet would be severely strained if its financial obligations continue to exceed the demand for AI. According to data, Nvidia's near-term setup still appears to be largely beneficial from a technical perspective. The stock has demonstrated a comparatively robust underlying uptrend by holding up significantly above its 20, 50, 100, and 200-day moving averages. However, momentum is being stretched a little. The 14 and 20-day stochastic readings are close to 89%, indicating that the market is currently overbought and increasing the likelihood of a pullback or consolidation. Furthermore, relative strength between 56 and 57 is still generally healthy rather than severe. Investors should be prepared to tolerate the high daily fluctuations leading up to earnings, though, since ATR, average daily price volatility, is close to 3%. Vivek Arya, a semiconductor analyst at Bank of America, has one key lesson. Complete AI domination is Nvidia's aim. Arya stated in an interview that we spoke with senior management at Nvidia earlier today in response to their most recent $105 billion OpenAI commitments. The strategic goal is evident. Nvidia is dedicated to the transformative potential of AI and to protecting all inputs, including chip supply, land, power, and shell, particularly for disruptive, non-investment grade clients like Frontier Labs and NeoClouds. Solid GPU leasing prices, compute scarcity, and Nvidia's industry-leading free cash flow generation make this worthwhile in the current environment, Arya continued. Additionally, it expands Nvidia's product line beyond public hyperscalers that are now producing competitive custom processors. Prior to its August 26th earnings report, the semiconductor company has released a good deal of news. Nvidia established independent compute finance platforms earlier this month in collaboration with major financial firms, including Apollo Global Management, BlackRock, Blackstone, Brookfield, Goldman Sachs, and KKR. In order to finance AI data centers and AI factories, the consortium plans to invest $500 billion in private cash, turning Nvidia hardware into an investable asset class for institutional capital. Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia, swiftly followed up with an agreement to give SB Energy's 8-gigawatt Ports Technology campus in Pike County, Ohio, up to $105 billion in credit support and residual value guarantees. OpenAI will lease the enormous facility, which will only use NVIDIA AI infrastructure. Although they run the risk of lower earnings quality and a depressed trade multiple, NVIDIA's ecosystem investments, particularly in disruptive Frontier Labs and NeoClouds, are essential to quickening the AI cycle, according to Arya. Since NVIDIA's 50% allocation is significantly lower than peers' 75 to 100%, we believe that increasing investor cash returns and allocating a larger portion of free cash flow to buybacks would be the most effective counter. According to the data, he reaffirmed his buy recommendation for NVIDIA stock with a $350 price objective, placing Arya above the average analyst goal of $302. If there's any reason to approach cautiously ahead of NVIDIA's earnings, it's because the market is set up for Huang to sound really optimistic during the earnings call and for the firm to publish something fantastic. Additionally, they are aware of the low downside risk associated with NVIDIA's expanding investment portfolio, considering the rising values of the majority of privately held AI companies. In an interview, Goldman Sachs analyst James Schneider stated, "We expect a solid quarter with meaningful upside to guidance supported by tight GPU supply-demand trends, but think the bar for the stock is elevated." He continued, "We believe it can continue to re-rate if we see evidence of 1. Improving profitability metrics at hyperscalers that support sustained spending growth. 2. Measured capital outlays in support of customer financing platforms. And 3. Reiteration of strong capital returns, buybacks, and dividends. Despite the fact that the stock has lagged peers year to date and trades at a wide discount to our view of fair value, 14.4x our calendar year 2027 estimated EPS.
I wonder if the strategy that has worked so far this year will continue to work in the second half. The EM trades that held up pretty well if the U.S. starts to go really wobbly, really risk off, can EM really support or be sustained in this kind of environment?
Yeah, I think that's the question of the hour. And I think that historically, when we see big risk off moves in the US, it is difficult for EM to sustain. I would say this case, in this time around, we are seeing some differences. One, as I mentioned, very strong economic fundamentals. Two, and maybe most importantly, quite high real interest rates. So inflation had been coming down at least till March and is now drifting down again in a lot of emerging markets. So rates were quite high. It's a little bit more supportive in this higher interest rate environment than it otherwise would be. South Africa, for instance, is sitting on 10-year bond yields of around 8.5%. So that makes it a pretty attractive carry trade. So I think there are pockets of what I would say resilience if we do see a big rollover in the market. Obviously, in the big Asian tech names, there are a lot of cross currents. There is, of course, interest rates. There's positioning. There's heavy pieces of leverage. And so that will be a very volatile piece. But the underlying fundamentals certainly remain intact for now.
And do you think we're entering this chapter of a major question mark around AI investment itself? I know the question was ROI, show me the money, but maybe we're entering this sort of side chapter where the AI investments get stalled because of what's going on in the bond space and what's going on in terms of the psyche around AI conversation itself. And what kind of risk is that to EM? Because this is a part of the market that has benefited so much from the CapEx boom.
Yeah, look, I think that undoubtedly the fundamentals are good. The demand is very good, but your point is a strong one. Every time we see a big sell-off in the market, the first thing I look for is leverage. And of course, in positioning in Asia, we saw a lot of leverage with the leverage ETFs, margin accounts, of course. But now when we look at some of the hyperscalers in the US, with reports coming out about the very significant amount of debt and obligations that they've taken on off balance sheet, I think it leaves investors a little bit concerned. So we really do have a tug of war between the good fundamentals and strong leverage. And if rates go up too far, that leverage argument will win, and I think that can be a real drag on markets.